it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I am sneaking in today to do a little copic coloring on an Oddball art digital stamp. It's image 155, Sally and Charlie, and really I had no plan going into this. I was like, well, let's get some coloring done and see what happens, and there was no plan, there was no first draft, there was no practicing. This was literally just me sitting down with the camera on and coloring for the fun of it. And I will warn most people, that's how I normally do my coloring. I don't plan it, I just do it. And if I fail miserably, I figure out a way to fix it. I very, 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 very rarely scrap a project because I like seeing where this is all going to go. So I started out with my traditional skin color. I am of the school of thought that you use a pale purple to deepen your shadows. I've tried using just straight earth tones, and it's never worked great for me, so I am of the copic coloring school where you use a blue. I, however, have introduced this new little trick where I add a little pink under the eyes to help round out the cheeks a little bit. It came from my painting world into this world. I pulled a combination of browns, and it's really just the E71, E74, 77, and 79 that has worked so often for hair for me, especially when I want that kind of dirty, dark brown, like not a vibrant, not a rich, just kind of like a dull, flat brown. And it's worked many occasions for me. It didn't work here. I don't know if it's because there isn't a whole lot of hair to play with and there's not a lot of places to flick color in because of the bow, or because it's in a top knot and there's lots of layers of hair, but it just became kind of one dull color. It was flat, there was very little life to it, very little movement, and I wasn't happy with it. So you get to sit and watch me try to figure out where to go from here. I tried by darkening up my dark highlights and adding some depth in the darkness, and it still didn't like it. So I gambled on an E39 to throw in touches of reddish brown and to see if that would liven up and brighten the hair a little bit, and it worked perfectly. It did exactly what I wanted to do. I have a couple new copic markers, and when I have new copic markers, I like to play with them as much as humanly possible to really understand and get to know them. Two of my new markers are this RV91 and R95. I have yet to find a combination of pink that excites me, besides the R81, R83, R85 combination. That I actually like. This combination, however, may be my new favorite pink, because it's not this bold, blinding, hyperactive pink. It's a nice muted tone while still being pink, or at least for me, a tone of pink that we would want to wear, me and my girls would want to wear in real life, not just, the ones we put on digital stamps. If anybody has a phenomenal copic combination of pinks that you're just like to die for, in love with, and it's not hyperactive pink, let me know, because I'm in like such a search for one. I've tried so many combinations. I wanted the mesh. She's wearing like fishnet shorts and fishnet wrist gloves, and I wanted to do them in gray, but I knew I wanted her wings to be purple, so I pulled kind of a dull purple and purposefully decided to keep those fishnettings in a purple tone because they would have a grayish feel to them. But the color combinations I was doing throughout the whole scheme of the project would work. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I like to, if I'm going to use one combination of colors, I like to use that combination of colors in multiple places because it makes everything work. If you keep just hyperactively adding different colors everywhere, your eye doesn't really know what to look at. But because I have this purple kind of lined up through multiple areas on Sally here, it works. Now I will say, I pulled out my RG91. It was so dried out and not working, and I was very, very sad because I don't have another color that's kind of pale yellowy green. But I do have, which is new, this G21, which kind of worked. It made the I don't know, serpent? Are we calling Charlie a serpent? It made the serpent a little more green than I wanted him. But in the end, I think I made it work. Now, I'll go back later and do more detail work here on his spots, but I wanted to see where the shadows fell over my yellowed spots. I took that Y26 marker and filled in all of his little decorative spots just so I could have an idea what things were going to happen here. And then laid in my darkest shadows with a G99, and it's a dark marker. It's almost gray, blacky in its tone. And I built up the shadows on Charlie. I messed up in a couple places. I don't know. I'm not happy with how the bottom of my serpent came out. That very, very low edge of him that's touching the non-existent current ground, but what will one day be ground. I dropped too thick or too heavy of a shadow. The rest of the shadows, I think, came out okay. I think I gave him some nice roundness and dimension. But that one, I'm just not crazy about. But again, I don't start over just because I mess up. I find that is a waste of my valuable time, and I don't have enough time as it is in life. So, yeah. Anyway, you can... Apparently voices are coming out now. Yeah, my children think I'm an absolute embarrassment because I have all these little silly voices I do on a pretty regular basis, and they think I'm the most embarrassing parent in the history of the world. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So I went in to do the wings. I was going to do the wings in a whole different color, and then in the end was like, nope, I'm just making them really dark green, and we're going to call it a day and make it simple, and I'm going to make his little tongue orange, not orange, there's no orange anywhere. I make his little tongue that mustardy yellow, and the same with his horns. And then I had to figure out what to do with the background. I had originally thought about putting him in water, but I'd done all this coloring on him with no water tracks, and to put him underwater would make it suddenly very weird. And it was going to be this nice, bright, sunny day scene, and apparently I can't help but do night skies right now, so night sky it became. So I wanted to make the grass that Charlie's sitting on to be very, very, very dark. So I pulled out a brand new combination of colors I'd never played with, but thought it might be fun to play with, and colored up what, in the end, will be a very, very dark grass. I do not like coloring on white paper anymore, because it keeps me from seeing the potential of this space. It doesn't make sense. My brain isn't work in a normal way as most people's do. I'm coming to realize in my old age. But I don't like working on white paper. I use white paper to keep my boards from getting gross. And if I know I'm going to be really saturating a piece of cardstock, I'll pull out some paper to put under it. But like I said, I pull out the white paper for basically the edges so I don't get it all over my blackboard. But I feel I can see the potential in the frame of the card much better without that paper under it. I've shown a couple times how to do a gray sky and a dark, really black sky and a obviously like dark blue sky. I wanted to do something different for this card, so I actually tried something I'd never tried before, so this was an experiment in real time. But wanted kind of like a teal, a blue-green, for lack of a better word, sky. And I wanted her not to be looking at the moon. I was like, okay, I'll put the moon up there. And I was like, I've done so many moons lately, I don't want to do another moon. But I thought it might be really, really fun if I put, like, that asteroid or falling star or comet or whatever you want it to be. My artwork on it wasn't great, and as I sit here staring at it, I'm like, oh, it looks so bad. But when I'm finished and I get all the sky into the I get the white all out, really. We're gonna go with the word comet starts to look really fun in the sky. I did another night sky just because I can't help myself, apparently. I did another night sky recently, didn't film it, but somebody commented how much they liked the circular motion I'm doing in the sky. It's how I keep my lines from being distracting, as I use that kind of circular motion, and it, to me, feels sort of like space moving in a circular motion, because I would think space works in a round system in my imaginary mind. And I've said before, when you're using this much ink on a card, you go through what's known as the ugly phase, welcome to the ugly phase, where everything's uneven and you never think it's going to work and you think throwing in the towel and quitting is totally a viable option. We are there. We are in the ugly phase. Usually what I need to do when I hit the ugly phase is I need to make my darkers dark again. And that's what I'm doing, is I'm darkening up all those dark zones again, because I've lost in the markers mutating the dark colors. I've lost some of those darks. And by putting some of those darks back in, I find that I kind of get back to where I want to. And because it's the night sky, I knew I was going to be able to put some stars into the sky, thus helping diffuse any unevenness in the sky. I lost a lot of my comet detailing here, so I pulled back out the combination of purples and reds that I was using for the comet and put back in the comet into the sky, and then pulling back out my teal marker, muted it back out. Because that's how it works. It's got to be a combination of the two. And here comes my white pen. I've been putting too many stars in the sky, I think, lately, so I was really trying to use some self-restraint. I don't think that accomplished anything. I don't think, in fact, I got... Yeah. And then I wanted some glitter, and I went glitter crazy. I put glitter on the comet, I put glitter in her eyes, and then in the end, I put glitter all over Charlie's decorative yellow spots, because, you know, he's mythical, and why can't he have glitter all over him? Where I lost the eyes, I put the white dots. Where I lost the highlights in the eyes, there's the appropriate phrase. I put the highlights back in, and then added more stars because I can't help myself. I wasn't crazy yet with how the comet's tip was coming out, so I pulled out my black sparkly pen and added just a bit more dark. And then I wanted a sentiment, so I pulled out a Tim Holtz sticker sentiment. And this one says, "Save some room in your heart for the unimaginable." And there's so many things that are unimaginable about this one that I thought it worked perfectly. Thanks for hanging around to the end. For those of you who are still listening and listening to the end, thank you. You guys rock. Yeah, that's really it today. I was just coming in and coloring for the sake of fun and love of coloring. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more projects like this one, hit the thumbs up if you'd like me to do less night skies. Tell me what kind of scenes you want to see me do in the comment section. And to see whatever I come up with next, hit the dragon. That will subscribe you to my channel. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Till next time. Bye!